It's kind of crazy because when you're reading the book, 85% of it is experiences in the Gulag, firsthand accounts, even like the transports from cities to the Gulags, and then 15% of it, and I'm just estimating here, is history in that time period, Russian history or like World War II history. And at first I was thinking, like when I'm reading it, those were kind of lulls, quote unquote, in the book. Like that was kind of where it might have like dipped. But I thought that was actually extremely interesting, getting to learn about those aspects of Russian history that kind of added to the book. It kind of gave some context to what I was reading as well. So,
and I learned that a big thing in him doing that, in him going into the history, is because many of the Western intellectuals blamed the entirety of the Gulag Archipelago, Gulag just meaning the prison camps, Archipelago just being a string of islands. And so it's his analogy for the prison camps that ran the Soviet society or socialistic society, because they were essentially islands within a nation. They were not the people of the nation. The people living around those prison camps, those gulags, were almost willingly ignoring that they were there and had no clue what it was like inside, or the people inside, why they were inside. And so that's how they were, even though it was a contiguous landmass, they were in many ways islands, archipelagos. So that's where the Gulag Archipelago comes in. Mm-hmm. But a lot of Western intellectuals blamed all the gulags and the improper incantation of socialism on Stalin and his paranoid ideas and the way in which he ran everything. But they don't blame Lenin, and they say Lenin wasn't as bad. What he's doing here is saying that the only reason Stalin was successful was because of the laws set in place by Lenin. That Lenin was the first. Without Lenin, there would have been no Stalin. He's tying the two inextricably together, which kind of erodes the Western intellectual argument for socialism that was going on at the time. And so that's why a lot of the reason he goes into the history, because a lot of people would say, oh, it was just a crazy leader, Stalin. That was the only reason that these happened, that these atrocities happened. But he's saying, no, it actually started even earlier. It started even earlier with Lenin and the laws he put into place, and the entire society was propagated upon this manual labor, this free slave labor of these prisoners of the state. And so
and I think we're kind of getting to an interesting topic about how a communist state couldn't function without these archipelagos, without the Gulag. Like, they needed this labor that couldn't have taken place otherwise.
Yeah.
Like, they needed to arrest people. And it says in the book that if there was a town that didn't have any prisoners, Stalin would say, well, there can't be a way where I wouldn't have any enemies. There are enemies in this state. We need to find them.
Yeah.
And they obviously would arrest them and take them to camps, and that's how they would run the communist state.
Yeah.